Yeah.
Yeah. So, how's everything? I know you out there. We live. How's everything out there in Houston, man?
It's good, man. It's
So you got a
hot.
big thing going on out in Houston right now, man. You got Cigar Week that's out
Right.
there right
Cigar
now.
week is this week, man, and
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot of hits on my site. People want me to come out and I may go out Saturday
Yeah.
toward the tail end of things
Yeah.
and hit a few lounges here in Houston. But yeah, big week for us. And I was down at Orlando Cigar Fest.
Right.
That's the shirt right here, and
Right.
that was in April. That was big fun. Uh, the cigar community
All right. All
is
right.
live and in
All
full
right.
effect.
All right, we got a couple people on right now. Welcome to the Smoking Jacket broadcast, a special broadcast, not my usual broadcast. Got a couple, about a half hour of your time. We want to share some things going on with this great brother right here, Mr. Russ, who's going to talk about a little Black history.
Cool.
So we appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, you stay on with us just to find out what's going on and what's coming to the DC area in regards to this. And so, man, let me just get you to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chris, and appreciate you having me on. My name is Russ Crockett.
Absolutely.
I'm a entrepreneur here in Houston, Texas. I have worked in the chemical industry most of my career. I'm originally from Washington D.C. Grew up in
Okay.
grew up around John Carroll High School, and then up in Northwest, and went to DeMatha High School, DeMatha Catholic.
All right.
So
Yeah.
ended up here in Houston in the mid '90s, and that's when I met Dr. Sifford, and we became good
Okay.
friends,
But we can't leave this out. Also, a proud member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity,
and
right?
and
All
absolutely
right.
a proud member of Beta Epsilon,
Yeah.
pledged in
Right.
1982. We're about to celebrate our 40th anniversary later this year, so that'll be another
Right.
celebration in 2022 for me. Uh, so
Good.
appreciate you shouting out the Noops, and hopefully we'll see the Noops, when we do our
Oh,
thing.
they will be in the house, man. They already talking about it.
Bet, bet. So yeah, that's me,
So go ahead.
man.
Didn't mean to interrupt.
I'm married, a wife and three kids, two boys and a girl, and life is good, man. I can't complain, bro.
All right. Well, what do we got coming this way, man? Talk about Charlie Sifford.
Yeah, man. So just a little bit, and again, much appreciation to you for allowing us to use the lounge there at Petworth on next Thursday, June 2nd. Dr.
Mhm.
Sifford was the first Black PGA golfer, and
Right.
he would have been, if he was still living, he would have been 100 years old on next Thursday. So we're gonna put some smoke in the air for Dr. Sifford on his birthday, and we've been celebrating him all year because he was a significant figure in Black history, not just golf, but just
Right.
history in general. Opened a lot of doors for a lot of people. And, we've been having a lot of fun this year celebrating him, telling his story. And I can give you a brief synopsis here, but for your, listeners tonight, his
Right.
book tells it all. His book is called Just Let Me Play. And this came out in 1992 when he
Hmm.
was, basically had just turned 70. And so his full life story was here. We updated this for the centennial because he passed in 2015. So there were,
Right.
20 plus years of additional history, and a lot of things happened during that time. Tiger Woods came on the scene. Charlie was honored with Hall of Fame. He was honored with a doctorate from the University of St. Andrews. He was also honored with the Presidential Medal of Freedom given to him by Barack Obama. So
Mm.
a lot, happened with the brother, but it was recognition for a lot of what is in this book. So for people who really want to take a deep dive into who Charlie was, I'm gonna give a summary of sort of what's in this that is meaningful to me, but he was born in 1922, so 100 years ago,
Right.
in Charlotte, North Carolina. Was gifted by God with the ability to play golf. He started off as a caddy at the Carolina Country Club at the age of 10. Okay. And he was a scratch golfer by the time he was in his early teens, 13, 14. Okay. And he basically just learned by watching other people play. He played on a Donald Ross course, which for golfers who know about golf, Donald Ross is one of the best golf architects. And so that's where he was trained. And so as a result, he became very proficient. But he was black in the South, and the PGA had a Caucasian only clause, and he was prevented from playing. So it was at that time, because he was on Tobacco Road, that he began smoking cigars. So he began smoking cigars in his early teen years. And what happened, Chris, is it's a funny story. He would get a quarter or 50 cents for carrying a bag, and he might do 2 bags a day, right? So as a caddy, he had to carry the bag for the person, and that was his payment. So he might make $1 a day, which was a lot at that time. In fact, he made as much as his dad did during that time. And then he would get tips. And so he might get a dime or a quarter of tips, and he'd keep that for himself. He gave $1 to his mama because he had 5 brothers and sisters in the family, and they needed the money, right? It's 1930, 235 in that time frame. All right, it's in the middle of the Depression. But he would buy cigars with his tips, right? So he started smoking cigars at 13, 14, and didn't stop till he was in his 80s. All right. So if you think, and I bet anybody this, I could give you more pictures of Charlie Sifford with a cigar, than any other person in history. Michael Jordan, Bill Cosby, George Burns, Red Auerbach, you name the person, Charlie was the cigar aficionado of the last century. You feel me?
All right.
So,
yeah, I feel you.
So, he got run out of Charlotte. All right.
Right.
He got run out of Charlotte, and he couldn't play when he was 17, 18, because they wouldn't allow him to play in the South.
Right.
So he went to Philly, your hometown,
Right.
and Cobb's Creek allowed people, women, black folks, other minorities to play their golf course. They didn't discriminate. And so that became his home course. He met his wife in Philly. Rose Crumley was a girls' high graduate. Met her in North Philly. He lived with his uncle, and he played golf at Cobb's Creek. And because there was a Caucasian only clause on the PGA, he had to play in the Negro League. And there were guys who can play. I mean, really, really, really play and compete with anybody during that time. They allowed certain tournaments like LA and Canadian Open and Chicago allowed blacks to play, but everywhere else, was restricted. And so he played the UGA tournament. He was blessed with the good fortune of meeting some fairly major celebrities during that time who took him under their wing and gave him an opportunity to make a living and also hone his craft. All right. So he met Joe Louis at the first tournament he went to on the UGA in 1948. Jackie Robinson was there. Many stars. But Billy Eckstine was there. And Charlie, with the urging of Joe Louis, got a job. Many people don't know, this about Joe Louis, but he was a big time golfer.
Right.
He loved golf, right? And so he hooked Charlie up with this introduction to Billy Eckstine, and that really set the wheels in motion for Charlie to commit in 1948 to be a professional golfer, right? I mean, and it was a difficult thing to do, right? Because he had a family, he had a wife, his son Charles Jr. was born, and so as a result, bruh, kind of just scrapped it out, man, for 10 years with Billy Eckstine. He became a road warrior. he went basically on tour. His job for Billy Eckstine was the driver, the valet, whatever Billy needed for his shows, he would do, for the evening. And then during the day, he would go play golf, right? And he would
Right.
practice, he would play, they would gamble. Billy Eckstine, his son says that the reason that he that he sang and performed was so he could make money so he could play golf. All right. So he
Right.
had Charlie as his coach. Charlie was his teacher, and they go gamble every time they hit. Man, they go to the golf course, find a game, and make some big money. He made as much gambling, as he did working for Billy Eckstine. So, if you and let me put it in perspective. Hanging out with Billy Eckstine in 1948 to 1958 was like hanging out with Michael Jackson or Prince in the 80s, or maybe Drake today. Okay. Can you imagine hanging out with them, right? Going on tour with them for 10 years, right?
Right.
So this is Charlie's beautiful story. It's not about just golf. It's not about just cigarettes. It's about the connections to the beautiful Black community that stuck together during segregation. Not only Joe Louis, but Jackie Robinson was involved in helping Charlie, have the perspective of what is it like to be a pro athlete in a game that is being desegregated. Now, remember, Jackie Robinson broke into the league in the late 40s. Charlie didn't break into the white tour full time until 1961. All right. So he had to basically struggle and gut it out. Go ahead.
I just got to add. I mean, in terms of that breakthrough, how did he? And you might have said it. I'm not sure if it's your internet that's a little choppy, but you came through muffled a little bit. But what was his point? How did he get his breakthrough in the PGA? Because he is the first Black player that broke into the PGA. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. And
where did that breakthrough happen? I know it's not just about golf, but man, I mean, I got some golfers that's going, love this story.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. For me, I would say there were probably 2 or 3 breakthroughs. Certainly being a caddy on the course that he was on. He came to Philadelphia with a cocky attitude. All right. Knowing that he could play. All right. And he got down to Cobb's Creek and he got his butt whipped by Howard Wheeler. All right. Howard Wheeler is as celebrated at Cobb's Creek as Charlie is. All right. And so and so that was part of the breakthrough. But then the other thing was he got to play in some of the tour events with the white players that allowed him to play. So as an example, he went up to Canada in the mid 50s and he shot a 63 on the opening round, all right, which is like 9 under par. He was on fire, okay? And this was Arnold Palmer's first golf tournament that he ever played in, all right? And Charlie shoots 63 and Arnold Palmer shot 64. And Arnold Palmer came up to the scoreboard and looked at it and said, how in the hell did Charlie Sifford shoot 64? And Charlie told him the same, how do you shoot 63? And Charlie said, same damn way you shot 64, and they became buddies. But it was those kind of things. He won a satellite tournament in 58, the Long Beach Open, that allowed him to move his family from Philadelphia to LA. All right. Up to that point, they were staying with his wife's mama, in Philly. All right. And making it work. He was on the road most of the time, And so that was a big deal. That was a big breakthrough. And that's where he met Stanley Mosk, who he became the Attorney General of California. And basically Stanley Mosk was a Jewish lawyer and he fought for the state of California to allow Charlie to play. And that's who was instrumental in getting Charlie his PGA card. I mean, they fought them. I'm saying they fought them like Martin Luther King fought, for civil rights. They did it on the golf platform. All right. So, a lot of people don't know Charlie, but his struggle and all of what he did during that time required a lot of perseverance. It required a lot of grit, and that's why that's why he's celebrated, not only by us, but by many, And so, long story short, he won twice on the PGA Tour. He had a stellar senior tour. He went through crap. Okay, he went through so much BS from the 60s through the 90s. It's all in his book. You can read about it, all that he went through. Okay, but he stuck in there. He hung in there, and that's really part of the main message. Is that the brother hung in there for us. And a lot of people would say he was bitter, but I don't. If you knew him and you really, read his story and got into it, you would see love. There would be nothing but love. Go watch his Hall of Fame speech. He got into the Hall. When Tiger broke on the scene, what happened was Tiger basically put a stake in the ground and recognized Charlie. All right. Tiger said, look, if it wasn't for this dude, I probably would not have, been playing golf because my dad wouldn't have taken it. And he gave Charlie a bunch of kudos, right? And so as a result, Tiger's the biggest thing the game has ever seen, all right? Ever. And so as a result of Tiger's influence, Charlie got recognized. He got in the Hall of Fame. They gave him a doctorate from St. Andrews. And then ultimately he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom. And there were a lot of other people besides Tiger involved in making that happen, including his family. But so when we got to this year, 2022, we've been working, the last year and a half to celebrate him. And so we contacted several organizations. The PGA Tour has picked it up and has run, with it in a good way. And every month since January, we've been doing stuff. Tiger recognized him again at his tournament in LA in February. The Hall of Fame created a Charlie Sifford Award. Renee Powell won, a sister from the Cleveland, Ohio area.
Right.
And, they have a black golf course there that is a historical landmark. So she was the first award winner of that award. Right. We've done some kids, events. We got more, coming. He's going to be recognized several times next week as we get to his 100th birthday on Thursday. But yeah, that's kind of, what's been going on.
Well, I'm excited about that. One of the things I heard you when you said that he's had a couple events, a little bit of everywhere, and I just recently know that one of the cigar clubs, one of the largest cigar clubs, actually the largest cigar club, was in South Carolina, Charleston. And I think right when we were supposed to do this broadcast before, I got a call from a young lady by the name of Desiree Walker, and she was in South Carolina, Charleston, and y'all were actually having an event there that she was at, which was great, which is how I became Facebook friends with Chris Sifford, and then I believe another person. So I assume those are family members. And so this thing is getting huge, and I love the traction and the attention that is drawn, because I have to be honest, I knew nothing. Nothing about this gentleman until you reached out to me to say that we wanted to do a centennial celebration in honor of him, which I think is great. Not only just on the golf side, but the fact that he also was a big cigar smoker, and how he used his tip money to get cigars, and et cetera. So I mean, I'm loving it. I'm excited, elated. And pleased that you are bringing it here to Petworth, June 2nd, 8 p.m. until. We're going to have a DJ. Most people that know me know I don't have too many DJs inside of Petworth, but given the fact and given the celebration and the man that we're honoring, certainly making an exception, looking forward to us. Tell us about some of these centennial sticks.
Yeah, man. So this is the actual stick, and it's a 50 by 7 Connecticut. The wrapper is Ecuador, Connecticut. The guts are longleaf seco and allure. It's made in the Dominican Republic. And one of my golf buddies is John Starks. And John Starks, who used to play for the New York Knicks, has a cigar company called Legend. And so you can tell your listeners to go to legend.com. And John has his collection, but he also has the Sifford collection. And so you can get the collector's edition commemorative box, a beautiful box that we designed last summer. It's got a nice little story on the background about the one I told about how Charlie got into smoking cigars. And so it wasn't right for us to celebrate Charlie without having a celebration cigar. And shout and appreciation to John Starks for allowing us to do that. He's he and Charlie are kindred spirits, very petty, but really good-hearted people. That and so John has a lot of admiration for Charlie. So he helped us. We created the sticks, and they're available for sale at legendcigar.com.
Right. Well, that's I had no idea. I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to trying it. Look, do me a favor when you get a chance, because I might as well get this shot. Hey, you tell John Starks to give me a call so I can get him on this show. Let's talk about his cigars.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah, right, absolutely, man. I'll see him next week, late next week. And so I'll mention it to him, and we'll work it out. Chris Sifford also has a show, and he wants to get John on. So great. He's got a couple of requests coming through me for sure.
I understand.
As I mentioned, we redid his book. This is the Centennial edition of Just Let Me Play. This is available on Amazon. It's available. It's available at. As a book, as an ebook, and also as an audio book. There's a children's book. Probably take a shot. It's a picture book. It's a nice book. It's easy to read. It's great for kids to share Charlie's story with them. And then lastly, but not least, but Anoop, that his company is called Buck Fogey. Buck Fogey makes golf apparel. He created a Centennial Edition hat for us, and that's available on his site, buckafogy.com. So just a few little knickknacks, little tribute items that, are collectibles that people, if they want to support us, if they want to support the family, if they want to enjoy a good story or a good stick, you can, where to go. It's on here.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward. June 2nd, 8 o'clock. We're going to celebrate the life, the legacy of Charlie, and looking forward to bringing that here. It's certainly an honor, a privilege to bring a DC native and celebrate him home. Now, is that his actual birthday?
That is his actual birthday. He would have been 100 that day. So we're going to put some smoke in the air for Dr. C,
So I'm loving the fact that that this is one for the history books of Petworth, to be able to honor him on that day. And so I'm so looking forward to that. So looking forward to trying the celebratory sticks. And now that I know where they came from, definitely looking forward. I'm familiar with John Starks, the company Legend, a couple great sticks that they've put out. Don't carry them here, but make the connection. Let's see what me and John Starks can work out, and we'll see what we can do on this end. Man, I tell you, it's a great look, and I'm looking forward to. We got the word out to the Washington alumni, the Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity on this end. Yeah. I'm sure that they will be supporting. I'm going to make sure that they show up in numbers. Gonna make sure that we get the word out on this end. I'm gonna repost this broadcast. Looking forward. Do me a favor, get me a flyer.
Yep.
If you can.
Yep.
Something that I can post from here until next week. to draw the interest, pique the interest of those. For those that do know my broadcast, for those that do know my DJ, GTG, DJ E Dizzle will be in the house on the ones and twos, as they say, and so we're gonna look forward to that, and we're gonna put some smoke in the air for Charlie, man. That's what it's all about. That's really what it's all about. Celebrate his life in a fashion that he probably would have celebrated it. Even look, I know a couple guys that's 100 years old, man. I got one guy coming here at 97, sits in that chair, one of these chairs in here, man. One glass of bourbon, 2 sticks, and he's out.
That's good. Hey, man.
And so I'm always elated when I see him.
Makes you live longer. That's what they say. Cigar smoking.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But look, here's a toast to you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Salute. So,
and we're gonna look forward to this day, man. Do me a favor. You got anything else to add before we close?
Nah, just looking forward to hanging out with the people, man, and doing it up right for Charlie. I may try to get 1 or 2 of his family members in, with me to come celebrate with the folks. I know how DC does when it involves ancestors, and that's what this is. It's a great ancestor, and that's what we're gonna do.
All right. Well, man, so we're gonna look forward to that day. Oh, absolutely, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you taking the time to come on and share what we got going on June 2nd. I'm looking forward to it, and we're gonna get as many people here to celebrate, put some smoke in the air for Charlie, and hopefully get them to get some paraphernalia in their hands to honor the legacy of this great man. So we're looking forward to it, man. Look, I appreciate you. Don't hang up. Don't get off. I'm gonna end the broadcast. I want to thank those who are viewing. Look out and share this post or share the broadcast. And I think on my YouTube, thank God we got 20-something people on YouTube. So glad about that. And we're going to get and share this post until it reaches at least 200. Cool. How about that?
Appreciate you.
All right.
That's great.
All right, man. So hang on there. All right.
All right.